everybody, this is Dream, and today we have an 11-game Major League Baseball slate that starts at 1 p.m. This slate's pretty interesting. It's going to have some tough pitching situations. We have some good bats across the board. With that said, before I get started, can you guys smash that like and subscribe button? It helps the channel a lot. Let's get into our pitchers first. So, Eovaldi and Ryan are my P1 options. Both these guys have tough matchups, but they do have good upside, even though they are in tough matchups. Like I said, this is a very tough slate for pitching. I do have two Hail Mary options at pitcher with Senga and Alcantara. Both of them have high risk, high reward, as they have not been pitching very well, but they have some upside in these matchups. For P2 options, Kopech is a top option with a good matchup against Miami, and he's been really good lately. But we do have some contrarian options in Tehran, Mikolas, and Miller for the Dodgers. All three of these guys have some nice upside. They haven't been super consistent, but they have some, low end upside here. And then I have two Hail Mary plays in the P2 options with Abbott and Francis. Now Abbott had a good game in his first game. This is going to be a tougher game for him. And then Francis, this is going to be his first start. And he actually gets a decent matchup from a K rate perspective. So very extreme Hail Mary option, but he is in play. Moving into our catchers, we have quite a few good options here, but Gary Sanchez is my favorite play as he's pretty cheap and he's been absolutely mashing the ball lately. Has home run potential here, and he's really came on to start. But Adley Rutschman is also in play for Baltimore. He's hit the ball decently well, and he's finally Baltimore's finally starting to look like a good team again for fantasy, so I like his upside here. Salvador Perez is also in play for Kansas City. He's hit the ball pretty decently this season, though he's been a little bit of a slump, but he has good metrics for this game, so I do like his upside, but he's pretty expensive. Sean Murphy and Austin Nola are also in play at this position as value plays, and a Hail Mary play as Nola. Especially if Sanchez doesn't play. I think Murphy or Nola would both be in play then. You could also consider Francisco Alvarez, Moreno, Will Smith, Wilson Contreras, and Patrick Bailey here. Overall, catcher is a very good position, especially with value plays. I wish the expensive guys were a little bit cheaper, but I think there's viable options for whatever team you're going to stack today. Maybe in the first base here, we're going to start with Paul Goldschmidt. Where do you go? Oh, sorry, he's a core play. He has some great metrics for this one. He has been in a little bit of a slump, but he has home run potential, and he's kind of due for one. This matchup has got all the metrics in his favor for that. Then we'll look at Montero for Colorado, who draws an interesting start here. He's a lot better at home than he is on the road, which he'll get that nice advantage here, and he's got a nice plus matchup here. He's been up and down, obviously, but he's got the favorable matchup, and he's pretty cheap. Then we'll look at Joey Menendez for Washington, who draws some really good metrics here. He hasn't hit home runs this season, but he's hitting the ball well, and he's scoring fantasy points, and he's pretty inexpensive and a good matchup. You could also consider Rowdy Tellez, Noda, Yandy Diaz, Rivera, Christian Walker, and Matt Olson at this position. Overall, first base is not as deep as it normally is, but it is pretty good today, especially with the value plays. And obviously, our top tier play is Goldschmidt, so I do think there's good value at this position. Maybe the second base, Ketel Marte is our top option. He's hit the ball really well lately. He's got really great metrics for this matchup. I like his home run potential, and he's a great option. Albies is a good contrarian option off of him, as he's hit the ball really well lately, especially hitting a bunch of home runs. I like his upside, and he's got a good matchup here. And then Tommy Edman is in play. Edman has some upside here, but he's high risk, high reward, as he's been in a bit of a slump. You could also consider Marcus Semien here. Second base is pretty weak today. There's not many options, but there are a few decent ones, and they definitely have home run potential in Marte and Albies. Maybe in the third base, we'll look at Machado for San Diego, who draws a great matchup in Colorado. Freeland can be good, but he's been having a rough time. And Machado's been in a slump, but he had a home run yesterday. I look for him to have some potential to do it again. If you want to go cheaper, then Kim from San Diego is also in play. as he's hit the ball decently well this season. He's not a huge home run threat, but he does have fantasy point potential here in this game. He's got nice upside. Then Austin Riley has a home run potential in this one. He's a little bit cheaper than Machado as well, and he's hitting the ball pretty well lately, so I like his potential here. He also managed a stolen base yesterday. I'm not saying that he'll do that again, but he should be able to get on base and get some fantasy points in this game. Also consider Miguel Garcia, Nolan Arenado, Evan Longoria, Gunnar Henderson, Emmanuel Rivera, and Montero. Overall, third base is pretty rough after the first three, and even so, it seems like paying down is tough to do here. Maybe in the shortstops, Witt Jr. looks like the best top play. He's hit the ball really well this season so far. Been up and down on the home runs, but he has good metrics here, and he draws a nice situation. Then Kim can also play here at shortstop. Willie Adams is also in play, as he's a little bit cheaper than he's been in a while, and Milwaukee does look like he's a good opportunity in a good place. Overall, as a team, you could go with kind of a stack of them if you wanted to, but he's cheap enough that he's viable with home run potential, even though he's been in a bit of a slump. We could also consider Xander Bogaerts, Corey Seager, Tover, and L.A. De La Cruz. Shortstop's not very deep, but everyone feels pricey and it feels riskier than other positions. Moving on to the outfield today. Our top plays are going to be Tatis Jr., Acuna, Harper, and Schwarber. I think the top three are definitely in play as great options, and Schwarber is a contrarian option. Then we look at Lane Thomas, who is a good value play. He has hit the ball pretty well lately. He has nice upside here and has home run potential. Yelich is a great option for Milwaukee as well. He's hitting the ball better than he was early in the season, and he has good home run potential here. Then we'll look at Grichuk for Colorado. He's overpriced, but he plays well at home, and he has good metrics for this matchup. He's not really got a home run potential, but he draws just good hitting and fancy upside. Nemo is also in play here. He's not a big home run hitter, but he has hit the ball pretty well lately, and he has nice upside in this matchup. Seth Brown has great metrics for this one, despite the fact that he hasn't hit the ball well this season. If he draws a start, he'll be in play. Last but not least, Jack Sawinski. He's in play today as a decent option. Kind of a contrarian play today, but he's hit the ball decently well as of late. With that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and have a nice day, guys.